It's a very pleasant day at the old boneyard here today. They cut the grass this morning, and so you get that nice fresh mowed lawn scent in the air, which I really enjoy. But then a couple of years ago, I read something about how the scent that you get of freshly mowed grass is pheromone's not the right word, but the scent put off by the grass itself. Each blade, in a moment of panic and anxiety and trauma, I guess, warning the other grass. I don't know what the other grass would do. It's not like we can get up and move or anything, but that's one of the ideas anyway. I don't know, but see, that's one of the things. That's actually not the way I was thinking about talking about today's subject, but it works perfectly, as these things sometimes serendipitously do. There's a lot of information in the world, but we have to use a very discerning eye to figure out for ourselves what is fact, what is fiction. Try to separate the truth from the noise. Now, we're not going to get too far into conspiracy theories here because Lord knows that's a lot of other videos I could do. But we try to keep things in the motivational side here, and there's plenty to talk about with just that. Just our own lives. Trying to sort out what's true and what is just nonsense. Some of it we bring upon ourselves. Some of the thoughts that we have in our mind and our brain are negative, are down, they're doubtful, they're troubling. And a lot of these thoughts are about ourselves. Many of us struggle with a very negative self-concept and self-image. And the problem with that is most of those thoughts aren't true to begin with. They're not real. But our brain, if we're constantly telling it these things are truth, it starts to believe that. And it starts to affect our self-concept. It starts to affect our image, the way we portray ourselves, our confidence, even our mental well-being, our emotions, our physical health are all affected by the way we think about things, about the world, and about ourselves. So our brain doesn't know if what we're telling it is true or not. But if we keep feeding it the same lies over and over and over, it becomes truth. And it starts to reflect within our own selves. Then there's the outside sources of information, right? We get other people that tell us how much we suck, how awful we are, how we're this, how we're that. And even though we may have received 100 compliments, we linger on the negative. Trust me, I do it all the time. I'm struggling with that myself. It's a normal thing. It's part of this human experience. The reason I can talk about it is because I've lived through it, because I understand it. And we all do it. We all have to deal with that. But we have to remember that there's a lot of noise out there. Just because somebody says something to you or says something about you and it gets back to you doesn't mean that it's truth. And we have to find ways to deflect it, not let it affect us. 1988, there was a movie that came out called They Live, starring one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Mr. Rowdy Roddy Piper. And the whole idea was that he has these special sunglasses. When he puts on his special sunglasses, he can see things for what they truly are, about how we are being controlled and how we're being told to obey all those weird-looking monsters that are in this world around us. You don't need special glasses to see the monsters these days, my friend. They're friggin' everywhere. They don't even try to cloak themselves anymore, But we get a lot of mean-spirited people out there. A lot of people that are just twisted and angry. A lot of them became those monsters because of the way they were treated by other people, which is why we always talk about hugging the monster and never throwing darkness upon darkness or hate upon hate, but always trying to deflect it with love and light and understanding. And if that doesn't work, just distance yourself. You plant that seed of kindness, you plant that seed of hope and love, and you walk away from the monster. But we can't let it affect us. We have to be aware of it, but we can't let it bring us down. And there's a lot of that out there. So how do we differentiate what is noise and what is truth? It comes down to reflection and introspection. No one knows you better than you. And you know all the things about you that are true that you don't like. We all have those things. It's okay. There's plenty of those things that we don't like about ourselves. But that gives us purpose and time to work upon these things, to make ourselves the best version of ourselves that we can. So when you hear those things said about you, when you know other people are talking behind your back, other people are telling things about you that aren't true, you have to put on your own special glasses, sort through what's what in your brain, see what you're going to take to heart, what you're going to hold inside, that which is truth, or that which is maybe, although not positive in the terms of which it was said, positive in a way that you can use it as constructive criticism to make yourself that best version of yourself. We all have chapters from the book of our life that we don't read aloud, right? None of us are perfect. We all screw up. That's part of the human experience. We learn, we go on, we go forward, we get better, we get better. That's okay. That's part of the process. But you have to sift through everything that's given to you. You have to sift through it all and see for yourself what is just nonsense, what is just noise, and what is something that I can take to heart that is good, that maybe is constructive, and maybe it's not the best thing, but it's something I can build upon because I realize it's the truth about myself. And what are those positive things? Those are those little nuggets of joy that we got to really mine. And it's funny because we get compliments from people in life, right? And we love them when we hear them. But yet when we think about ourselves, we often don't remember those things. We often remember the negative. We often remember the dark things that were said about us, the mistruths or the straight out lies about us. We remember those things, and we don't remember that which was positive. So do yourself a favor. Make yourself a little vault upstairs somewhere, a little file in your memory bank of all the good things that you've done, all the good things that others have said about you, all those good things that you know to be true about yourself. And when all that noise comes in from the world, all that outside chatter, all that nonsense, all that negativity, all those things that affect us in a dark way, throw those things where they belong to. If it's nothing worth harvesting that you can make yourself better with, throw it in the trash. It's not worth it. Keep those little gems. Keep those little moments where somebody showed you kindness, somebody showed you love, or you know that you've done something that was a good thing. This life is filled with good and bad, sweet and sour. You can't have one without the other, my friends, just the way it goes. But do your best to filter out the noise, filter out the nonsense. Hold on to the joys of this life. I think if you're being honest with yourself, when all is said and done, if you compare the noise and nonsense versus the truth, the lovely joys, you'll see which side wins. It's always going to be love and light, my friends. I believe in you, my friends. Let's keep out there and doing our best. Disregard the rest. See you soon.